Feathershare Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
The voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Johnson County, welcome to the JoCo Voice. I'm your host, Mike Wilshire. Oh, got to get my microphone straight. In the studio with me tonight, I have Jimmy Fricks from Knapp Ranch. Say hey, Jimmy.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Oh, man, it's good to have you here. You're elusive, man. You're like Bigfoot. I bet you if I took a picture of you, you'd be blurry, you know? No one knows what the real Jimmy Fricks looks like, right? They're all, I've never seen him. I don't know what he looks like. Well, he's out there in the arena. Which one? The one with the hat?
All of them.
Right.
All
It's
the time.
Yeah, that's the one. All right. So we got to talk about Johnson County news. And I got to start this off with, I only need to open up the Johnson County Sheriff's Department's Facebook page to get great joy in life. I mean, it's bad. So I want to, and I'm going to butcher this, and I apologize to all my Hispanic fans out there. Festitando El Sábado
Yeah, you're
De
butchering it.
Gloria. I'm butchering it. So to me, what it looks like, and if you want to take a look there, it's a bands. It looks like it's a battle of the bands.
Oh, Cebado de Gloria.
Oh man, you can actually say it right.
Hey, those deals are a lot of fun.
and-
They know how to party.
And that's what Johnson County has addressed. That is straight out the gate. So I'm going to read this as verbatim as I can. It starts off all caps. Warning to attendees. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office will be at this event. We will have zero tolerance, and zero tolerance is all caps. For those who are drinking and driving, parking on the side of the road rage, underage drinking, firing off weapons.
Yeah.
You know,
It gets wild.
you know your JoCo showing whenever someone says firing off weapons before it even started. You know, before the event, you will not be able to fire off weapons. Urinating in the neighbor's yard.
Oh man.
And
It says
any
that?
other, yes, urinating in the neighbor's yard and any other criminal. You know, I could just see one of us rednecks sitting out there with a 12 gauge just going, I wish one would. Come
Right.
over here. Or like in your case, they probably put an electric fence up. So whenever they go to pee, pow, yep.
Yeah. I'd be the guy to tell them, no, come over here beside the house so you don't get caught.
You know, just, you know, I mean, oh my God, that's awesome. This venue has caused us many problems in the past, and causing additional problems will not be tolerated. We hope each of you who plan on attending has a good time and obeys the laws. We're not there to ruin you having a good time. We just want everyone to be safe, and the citizens in the area not to have to put up with individuals causing problems. Okay, now here we go. We got to go to the 34 comments. Last year there were shots fired. I think somebody got hurt, and then definitely all the drunk and intoxicated people leaving the event on the public road. If Johnson County didn't patrol, this would be way worse. I agree with you.
Right.
And I'm sad that somebody got shot. Officer's prayer. I knew who this was aimed at before I even saw the poster. That's bad when you come. Yeah, you imagine those buckouts that y'all do. You know, I mean, like if Tarrant County went on there and said, "Okay, Knapp Ranch, be advised."
Yeah, we call them. We've hosted some of them, and we call them out, and we just come out and patrol the parking lot and make
Right.
sure nothing.
Oh, y'all
gets too
hosted some of
crazy.
these
Yeah, absolutely.
Sabado.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Some of the
awesome.
hotter perros and
I'm sure it's amazing, you know, and I mean, they like to party. I mean, like they're the
man,
rednecks.
the food is great.
The food's great.
and
They're like
all great.
rednecks.
Yeah.
They like to party, you know. I know
Yeah,
the
I have a
vaqueros
lot
and
of fun
stuff.
at those deals.
And when I went and did my taxes yesterday, it's in that part of town where Gomez Western Wear is,
Uh-huh.
right up there on the freeway. And what is that, Seminary Drive or whatever? It's right there. So as I'm going in to do my taxes, they're walking in. I mean, it was like, you know, the Three Amigos,
Yeah.
like the outfits they wear,
Yeah.
and the Three Amigos, and the guys had all their cases with
Oh
them
man,
because
they're
they were
very serious
they,
about it.
oh man, this guy he looked like he was dressed to the nines,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, it
You
was
got to respect our culture, though, man. They
Right.
do so much cool stuff with
oh yeah.
the ropes and the riding and all
Right.
that stuff.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, it works. It's almost like Pavlovian law. Whenever I hear that music, I want to go eat Mexican food.
Yeah.
So, you know, like people were like, I'm getting my taxes done and my stomach's growling the whole time because I could hear, you know, it's that part of town. I'm like, man, I went straight to Antonio's. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm on
there
my
you
way.
go scratch that itch.
All
Get
right,
some
I gotta go
Mexican
get
food,
it. I
yeah.
gotta go get it. So, yeah, they're fun. I mean, you know, but hey, they like to party. You know,
Later in the evening, it can get escalated.
I can
for sure.
only imagine. But yeah, but the Mexican culture is the original cowboy. I mean,
Man, yeah, and
the
that's
stuff
what
they
it's,
did.
that's what's great to see is they're still carrying that on. Even the
Oh,
young, you
yeah.
see some of the youngers that are
We're
still wearing the
losing it.
sombreros and still
Yeah,
doing all
yeah.
that stuff.
We're
man,
losing our
keeping the
culture
tradition
of the
alive.
cowboy, and the ranching, and things are going away, and it's putting more of a burden, I think, on y'all. I mean, you, the individual rancher, are going to have to, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I want to talk about the fun side of how I know you and how I met you. So, first time I ever met you, I got to tell this story, and I can tell it because it's on the
Uh-oh.
radio. Well, I met you before you met. I saw
Okay.
you before you saw me. So I'm up there filming. I'll never forget. You're opening the gate and you're in flip flops in this horse pooped arena. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm laughing my ass off. Got a beer in one hand, the gate in the other.
Oh, no.
And the funniest thing ever was you and Jeffrey Wheelock and you and a bunch of others. You know, Jeff, he juked for the bull to
Yeah.
get around it after the rider came off.
Right.
But the rider didn't come off, and Jeff was on the wrong side.
Uh-huh.
And, it happens.
Oh yeah.
It happens. And he's the only one in the arena that was clowning. He's just doing it for
Yeah.
practice. He's
Yeah.
out there doing his training and getting in the arena and practicing. And so it goes bad quick. And you reach over and you're going and you pull the rigging, but you never let go of the beer. So I'm assuming that was a brand new tall boy, right?
That must have been a few
you
deep
know,
because
it-
I'm usually not getting in there. Like
Right,
that.
right.
Not
And
anymore.
I'm like, well, this is a few years back, a
Yeah.
little while back, because Jeff moved away and came back, and so he's back around now. But
Yeah.
so it's a little while back,
Yeah.
but I never laughed. So you could hear me laughing in the video. I'll have to find it somewhere, and you could hear me giggling because you're like, you never set the beer down, right? That's a redneck for you, right? I rescued him. I got kicked. I got hit, and I never spilt a drop. Right? We had fun that day. It was fun. So you do the buck outs?
Yeah, buckouts twice a week
Bring your mic closer to you.
at Nap Ranch.
Twice a week. It's
Twice a
on
week, every
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, right now we're at Wednesday at 6 o'clock and Sunday at 2 o'clock. And man, JC Knapp, my uncle, he's been doing this deal for 40 years. He's raised bucking horses and bucking bulls, and always had a passion for teaching kids how to ride and just kind of contribute to the sport. And
y'all have carried that on.
Man, we have, and it's been week in and week out, and sometimes it's stressful, but it's always a great thing. We've seen a lot of kids come through there. Some of them may just be bucket list, they might just want to check it off, say, oh, I got on a bull, went skydiving, whatever. But a lot of these kids really want to strive to be better, and we've seen a lot of world champions come that started there or come through there, and
you've got to get your start somewhere.
Absolutely, man.
And like I told you, my nephew, I've reached out to you several times. My nephew's 11, everything bull riding. Yeah. This little turd was on my side-by-side, my Kawasaki side-by-side.
Yeah.
And he goes, Uncle Michael, you know a lot about bull riding. I go, no, your daddy knows a lot about bull riding. I know a lot about filming bull riding.
Right.
And I said, I've filmed bull riders. I've filmed their training, their regiments, what they're doing.
Right.
What do I need to do? I said, well, you need to be able to do 10 one-arm push-ups off the side of that Kawasaki mule before I'll ever let you get on a bull.
Right.
Boy, I come back down like 6 months later.
He's getting it.
Uncle Michael, look. Like, I mean,
now you're in the bind.
I know, right? My brother's like, no,
absolutely not.
No. And so I'd even reached out to you. I'm like, what can we do? And you're like, we put them on, we'll hold on to them, and we'll put them on something little and just kind of let him get a feel for it. But apparently, when they took him to do the mutton busting at the rodeo in Houston, he smelt it and started crying. He couldn't handle the smell of that sheet.
Yeah.
So
had second thoughts real quick.
Yeah, I'm like, you think them bulls smell any better, boy? Right. It's not like they run them through a car wash before they bring them out there. They stink to high heaven, And I mean, so
I love the smell.
So I've
grown to love it.
Yeah, it's
like money.
and right for you it is. And for them, everybody's like, and I always tell everybody, they go, well, it's cruel to the animals, and I go, okay, no, it's not. And I'm gonna tell you how I know it's not. The animals would not move if they're sick. If you've ever seen, like that day you did the sale barn, I'm sitting in there talking with them at the sale barn, and he goes, Jimmy Fricks is bringing one in. He's got to sell. It's bad. And I said to him, I was like, God, how bad's that bull if Jimmy Fricks has got to bring it in, tell you, give me a separate pin and get it a certain way.
Make sure they tie the gates really well.
You this one's on got some issues.
Yeah.
And so I asked you, what kind of issues? A lot. Right. That's tell you a lot. You got a lot of issues. So people don't realize these animals, I mean, they lived a life. Man, it's a bull.
Yeah, absolutely.
They live a life.
Fed in the mornings, fed, catered to all the time, and they all have different personalities.
Sure.
A lot of people think that we get them as wild as possible and shock them and tie their testicles up and this and that, man. But it's not like that at all. It's actually the total opposite. We want them as calm as possible. We want them to know that they're safe and we're not going to hurt them. And the more gentle they are, the more they can concentrate on bucking. Right. And they figure that out. A lot of them they like it.
That's their job.
Oh, absolutely.
They know that's their job.
And you see some of these bulls just go in there and they're ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're and they get around each other. I always tell everybody they're like to me they remind me of like football players before they come out the gate.
Yeah.
When you seen JJ Watt back in come out in the smoke and stuff, and you see the guys that would go into beast mode and stuff as they're coming out.
Right.
And inevitably there's that stupid person that runs right in front of the banner and gets clobbered, like one of the cheerleaders or something. But I always love those. But the bulls remind me of professional athletes.
Right.
They're trained like that. They're treated like that.
Absolutely.
They live in an absolutely calm environment. I forget his name, but it was so hilarious because he was pissed he had to buy a new truck because apparently they tumped his truck over when he was trying to feed them that one time. It was one of the guys he brought up, and it was so funny him telling us that damn story. And he's just inside that truck cussing at those bulls. He's out there by himself. His cell phone, he can't find it. He had to kick the
Brand new
windshield
truck.
out to get out. No, it was an older truck, and that's what he was mad about, because it was like an old 77 or something.
Oh no.
And he had just done a lot of work to the heeds and stuff. And them farm trucks, you keep that thing running until it explodes,
Absolutely.
or
Yeah.
until a bull tumps it over.
They are necessary. Yeah.
Right? Because a bull's coming for it one day. He's going to tump it over, and that's what's going to happen. No, that was probably one of the funniest things I've. Have you ever had anything that at the time wasn't too funny, but it was super comical afterwards?
Man, lots of them.
Right.
Lots of instances where oh man, that was really dangerous.
Right,
It scared the heck out of me. But
Well, I mean, a bull getting out on the road is for me.
We had one we called Camo. He got out in Houston down the highway, and they ended up rounding him up several miles from the arena. But I looked on Facebook and somebody tagged me in it, and he's trotting down the highway in 5 o'clock traffic.
Freedom.
Some random person's filming him jogging
Right.
down the road.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I took some bulls to Billy Bob's one night.
Mhm.
And they had an event in there the night before, and they had the alley part open, so they were moving stuff in and out. And I guess they forgot to pin it. Well, I went to run these bulls out of the arena, and this is 8:30, 9 o'clock. Everybody's everywhere, and they piled up and busted through this gate, and they took off straight out in the parking lot at North Side, runs all the way around down Main Street through. You know what I mean? They're over there by Neon Moon. We had to trap them up. I ran down to Cowtown, got the guys on the horseback. I said, "Y'all got to come on." I'm
never going to mention the name of the individuals involved in this, but the funniest thing that's ever happened to me was I was at an event and I'm filming. My production company's filming.
Right.
I've got a camera person on the far other end of the stage, which is essentially just a flatbed that we pulled up, and we're using only half of the arena.
The best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's best stage for a camera guy, And usually I have I have me one of those what do you call it? I have one of those I'm trying to think of the name of it. One of those scaffoldings and stuff. And I'm glad I wasn't on it,
Right?
Because this bull ran and jumped straight over the fence, in between my camera person and I.
Oh no!
Over the flatbed.
Watch the equipment.
And all the cowboys are in the arena.
Right?
They're not jumping over that fence with the.
What are they going to do?
So I mean, they had to let them go out the backside.
Right.
They had to go out the backside, ride around, go find this bull, and bring it all the way back through the parking lot by all these cars.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I hope my insurance.
That part was free.
Right. So we had the buck outs. We talked about that. You're doing the buck outs, and you do it twice a week. And then y'all have two main huge events.
Bringing the Heat is a big one at Nap Ranch. It's in November, usually the first weekend of November or the second weekend, something like that, man. Huge fireworks show. Bullseye Fireworks comes out and does a great job. And then we used to have 40 of the top cowboys matched up with some of the best bulls going, these contractors. It's actually a big gamble. There's 3 forms of competition we do. The bullfighters are competing for a pot.
Right.
The bull riders competing, obviously, but then the contractors are as well. They're bringing their best bulls to compete against each other. And the high score with the best rides wins that amount of money. And there's usually 20,000 plus on the line too. So it's actually a cool, it makes for a lot of great rides. And
to piggyback off that, to ask you a question off that, stock contractors bring all these bulls, but not all their bulls are guaranteed to be in it. Right? They have to draw. Do y'all draw out, or do y'all pre-draw in advance?
It kind of just depends on the event. It used to be someone would call and say, "Hey, I need 15 bulls. I'll bring them to me for this amount of money," and you would take 15, and they would use you for that. But now, since the competition has kind of grown, they're bringing a set number of bulls, and nowadays they're bringing their own riders too. They can practice on them bulls during the week or whatever. But it just kind of depends on the event. A lot of them are different. But no, if you're told to bring a bull, you need to bring this many and you're going to buck that many, or I really don't
okay. You don't. Okay. Yeah. So it's not, you don't show up with a bunch and hope.
Right.
And then go to the next event and hope.
It's a high school rodeo or something like that. Sometimes they don't have as many entries, but they want to make sure all the stock's there in case that amount of people show up.
Right.
That type of deal, it happens. But,
and I think that's what the fans don't know, us, the lay person out in the audience, is that everyone's competing. The bulls are competing. The referees, the clowns, the fighters that are in there. There's a difference between a clown and a fighter.
That's right. The clown is actually like the funny man. He keeps the crowd going. He tells jokes, walks around. Sometimes they get in the barrel, sometimes they don't. And the reason those guys get in the barrel is so there's extra weight when that
Right.
bull hits it, so it doesn't launch the bullfighter or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, and the bullfighter is just there to protect the cowboy. He's there to get that bull's attention when he comes off so he can get up and go away, get to the fence safely. And man, we couldn't do it like we do without them guys. They are the VIPs of every event.
That's the only thing I've ever done when it came to bull riding was bullfighting.
Yeah.
Because us little boys, when we were young, growing up, we had the football pads. We had the 18 years old, you need a few $100.
Yeah.
You'd go down like from the base. We would go down to where we could actually do that. And so that's the only thing. I know that if you run away from them, you stand a chance of getting trampled. If you run towards them and cut, they can't turn around as fast.
Yes, I wish it always worked out like that.
It doesn't.
Sometimes it does not.
And we've seen some people go off in an ambulance
man.
way more than what we've expected in our lifetime because of the injuries that go with it. But so let's talk about the one that you do, another one at Hoots.
Yeah, I've been doing Hoots on Halloween, the last couple of
right.
years. I'm not sure if we're going to do it again this year. I imagine we will. We had a pretty good turnout the last couple of times we did it. But the bringing the heat at Nap Ranch, and then I do an event at my house. It's pitching in the pecans, and it's kind of the same event, fireworks and great bulls and riders and contractors bringing some of the best out too. But and a protection match, which is the bullfighters competition too. So, but that's usually in September, in the fall.
And the only way to learn to ride a bull is get on one. That's pretty much
right.
I mean, we did it with the barrel where we would have it in between with the garage springs.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
We still incorporate that into our practices. It's not hanging from springs, but it's kind of it's a buck and barrel that rocks up and down. And
one of us is ringing. You're vibrating. This table picks up every time we touch it, and it picks up every time the phone.
There we go.
Why are they calling you? They should be they should be listening.
Right. Yeah. Tune in, folks.
It's somebody calling going, hey, plug this.
Yeah, right.
So now, so you train people or you let them train?
Both, man.
Okay.
And it's not just me. It's my Uncle Chris and there's Bubba Stewart and, a lot of guys that come out and help. We'll get guys out there that it's their first time. We'll put them on the barrel. We'll show them drills. We'll sit them on the bull, show them the whole shoot procedure, stuff like that, how to pull your rope, how to maintain your equipment and all that stuff. And then we put them on, we give them a vest and a rope and a helmet if they don't have one, and put them on the appropriate stock. And that's a big thing because not a lot of these contractors keep around the low end bulls because they're about the competition and making it lucrative. When you're feeding a bunch of bulls that don't buck, it's hard to go win money with them, unless you're going to contribute to the sport and teach people how to ride them, you know what I mean?
And we're not going to have them if you don't teach them.
Exactly. And there's a lot of guys complaining about, hey man, we don't have any riders. We don't have any this and that, and it's dying out. Well, you've got to do something to give back, to bring these guys up. And you may go through 1,000 before you get one or two that are going to go on and progress and be good in the sport. But that one or two is worth it. And the other 998 that get to tell that story for the rest of their life to their kids and their grandkids, that's worth it too, because you just see these kids smiling ear to ear after they got off their first bull. It makes it worth it, man. It's really cool.
Did it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So Katie Eller says, hey, cousin Jimmy. We got Shelly Smith says, saved by the smell. I love it. Sherry Love says, y'all need to come out. It's always a good time. Sherry Love says she loves her some Jimmy Fricks. Hey. And then that's from us. And okay, so I just want to make sure I got all y'all's comments out there. Let Jimmy know he's loved.
Hi,
and
Katie.
in here in the studio with us.
Sherry.
Yeah.
I love y'all too.
Who's Sherry? That's your aunt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's a family affair with you guys.
Absolutely.
Nap Ranch has been around for a while. Let's talk about the house.
40 years. The house, man. That is a really awesome
North
house.
Dallas 40 and
Semi-Tough. Was there with Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
My grandmother bought that place years ago, and it was an old cutting horse ranch, and just immaculate. They filmed a couple movies out there, and my grandma lived in the big house. It was actually a 3-story house, and it's really cool. Kitchen in the den, and the living room, and dining room, stuff like that downstairs.
That's a lot of house, man.
Bedrooms in the middle, and
you need servants. You need Downton Abbey to help you run that.
Oh man, it was so cool being there as a kid, because it was just huge.
Didn't know.
Yeah, you could
It's still
hide
huge. Even now, whenever I go up to it, because you have to drive up to it to
Yeah,
drive around,
right.
I'm like, God dang, that thing is huge. Hard to believe somebody lived in there at one
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Like 9 families,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
We all live there. My uncle, my aunt, my mom, myself, and
there's still a bunkhouse in it. You
yeah,
still
yeah. We've
have
got
some of the cowboys.
some bull riders staying there that kind of get on bulls during the week and then do some stuff around the ranch to kind of help out, keep it going as well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, great. I mean, it's to me, it's something that and we're going to get in that in the second part of the show. It's something that we need because you're doing something that not only it's not just the bulls.
Right.
It's a full working ranch that you have animals that get processed. You have stock. I mean,
Right.
right. And it's branched out, and you guys are moving and shaking and always doing something.
Man, we love having events. We love doing having vendors come out and sell their stuff and
Mhm.
include them and just doing stuff for the community. Not a whole lot of stuff goes on where you can be outside and it's at our weekly buck outs. It's $5 to come watch 2 hours of live bull riding,
Right.
and there's a beginner to pro. So,
Mhm.
and that's always fun for the people to come out and watch. And then, man, the events are just a lot of fun. The last one we had, I think we had 350 to 400 people out.
Right.
And it was actually a beginner and intermediate event for the guys that aren't professional or aren't on the circuit, and
Right.
there's really nowhere for them to enter unless they're in a high school association. So that's kind of what we do. And they bring everybody out,
Right.
they come watch me. It's my first rodeo. I get to enter.
I don't know if it's 2 words or one. Carpool.
Carpool.
You want to put as many at the one at Hoots. There's no parking,
Absolutely.
and
not.
fortunately, one of my sponsors is one of the ones that's in that little shop.
Yeah.
So I was able to park there, but the
Cool.
security guy was like, "You can't park there," and I was like, "I'm parking there," and he's my sponsor. He's one of my friends, so
Yeah.
he could do it. So I went in there, and I think he thought I was saying that like I'm an alcoholic, and that's my sponsor.
They got pretty upset, I guess, the year before last because everybody was just parking, on the septic and in the other business parking lots, and
It's bad,
and they raised heck about it. But
right? And a lot of people there.
lots.
I mean,
Lots of
a
people,
lot of people there, and I think they even had like the bag boys in there throwing inside.
yeah,
So,
cornhole.
cornholing. So I'm a professional cornhole player. No, you're not, Jimmy. You actually have a day job.
Right.
Come on, Freddie. You're not a professional cornhole player. No, that's that's pretty awesome. So, and so it's really just the 3 main events, right?
For the
That's
most
it.
part. I mean,
Okay.
I try to do 10 or 12 a season.
Okay. But y'all are available for venues, right? People could hire y'all out.
Absolutely. I have a place down the road that's actually my aunt's. It was my great grandfather's at one time. He's got a big pecan orchard he had there, and lots of beautiful land out there. And I got the pecan orchard lighted, and I let people come out if they want to have a party or something. I'm actually in the process right now of building a covered arena on the spot where I usually have pitching the pecans kind of next to it. So I'll soon enough I'll have a venue to where we can put on private rodeo shows for people,
Right.
like corporate events or whatever, and then
Right.
walk over to the lighted orchard and do a dance with a concert and stuff.
Let's get the cast of Yellowstone.
Man,
I think you get them in there, we have $5 million.
I'm telling you what, me and my cousin Jacob, we said if we had a camera crew follow us around, we would get a lot done.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
would get a lot of content as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You get a lot. I always laugh at people are like, think that show is so amazing and stuff. And it's hard for me, a guy who grew up in that environment, to see people riding around in a $120,000 truck going, why don't we not have money?
Right.
It could be that Texas edition thing you're riding in,
Yeah,
the
no
King
kidding.
Ranch, the brand new 2024.
Yeah.
They got a 2024 and 2022 that they were driving. I don't know why we're out of money. I just don't get it. Well, that's the reason why you're in debt. I mean, like I just, that's the way it works. But no, I'm truly impressed with whenever I drive out there and all the stuff I see and the things that you guys are doing. And we're going to come back to it because I mean, the food, everything revolves around beef,
Right.
lamb, chicken, things like that. And I mean, people, whenever COVID happened, you couldn't get eggs.
Right.
And so people who had land all of a sudden are building chicken coops.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I need eggs.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian. I eat eggs. That's the only, or
Yeah.
whatever I am, people
Yeah.
just like, I need eggs. And, that turned into a thing. And so I went to one of the feed stores. I said, hey, would one of y'all come do an interview with me, talk about it? And the guy at the feed store was like, hard pass. I ain't got time to come talk to you.
Oh, no.
I'm too busy. I
Oh,
gotta
no.
get more chicken
There's
feed.
more
in
chicken
here.
feed.
So, I mean, it's changed. I mean, even COVID changed us quite a
For
bit,
sure.
you
Yeah.
know, and the food source. And we're going to come back, talk about some ventures that you're doing with that and where things are going and just the future of ranching and Nap Ranch and how things are going to work for us going forward. Man, you're popular. I can hear that thing vibrating through. It's awesome, dude. I think it's great. You know, I mean, like you're busy all the
They
time.
probably want money.
I bet you collapse when you go to bed. Like you come out of the shower, dry off, walk 3 steps, and then just boom, right in the
No,
bed snoring.
that's when I lay there and check all my messages.
Oh, really? That's the time you get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Did your brain not shut off? Did you have a
It's
hard
tough.
time?
It's tough sometimes.
Oh man, I can only imagine because it's always something
Yeah.
with what y'all got going
For
on
sure.
there. It's never, it's you and your brother pretty much doing all that stuff now.
Yeah, me
right?
and my cousin Jacob.
Cousin Jacob.
Yeah, it's still going.
And who's
strong.
Guy?
Guy's my uncle.
Your
Yeah,
uncle. Okay.
Yeah.
Other night, somebody at the bar, tell Guy, I said, okay.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, Johnson County. Stick around.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to JoCo Community Radio.
All right, Johnson County. We're back here in the studio. JoCo Community Radio is a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving communities like Johnson and Tarrant County, Texas. We are live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Check out our lineup and more at TuneInJoCo.com. We thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our community. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorneys at law. Use code JoCo 2024 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com and join the Swipe Nation today and save on your credit card processing at swipenation.us. Man, I'm having a hard time. SwipeNationUSA.com. Locally owned and operated. Reach out to Tiffany at JoCoCommunityRadio.com for advertising rates as low as $50 a month. All right. Now I'm back here in the studio with Jimmy Fricks, and we're going to talk about the other side of ranching and a little bit about what I talked about with the chickens. You're getting folks that want to invest in their freezer now, what they're putting into it, right?
Yeah, here and there, just friends of friends type deal.
And this is not, but I want to talk about this process. Obviously, you're not this is not for the public. This is friends of friends, and I want everyone to understand. But this is something that's going on all over the United States,
Yes.
where people are interested in. I'm going to go find a rancher. I'm going to go befriend him.
Yep.
I want him to raise a cow for me.
Yep.
I want it to get to a certain weight, and I want to know what's into it. And I mean, with yours, you worm them.
Yeah,
You
so
let
that-
them. You let them grow to a certain
yeah,
weight.
let them grow up. It just kind of depends on how much beef they want. Because of course you can, take them when they're 600 pounds, or you can take them when they're 1,600 pounds.
Right.
The difference in that is hundreds and hundreds of pounds of meat, obviously. But
And you can't store 1,600 pounds of meat in one freezer.
right,
Unless
it's a really big freezer. Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to have to be like what they have at Rendon Meats freezer.
Right.
For
I've had a lot of people call, a lot of people ask questions about it, and it's just Black Angus cows. I have a Charolais bull that I put on them. I raise the calves up. They get good grass, clean fresh water, salt and mineral, protein licks, and hay. They grow up, they get fat.
So and it costs you a certain amount per cow. That's an operating cost. I mean,
it does. You can break it down
figure it
to a
out.
number. Absolutely. When you're feeding several, it's kind of hard to do that. But I'll take a select few after I pull them off their mom. They're probably about 600 pounds, 500 pounds, and then feed some grain to them, and get them ready. And so they'll call and ask me the process, and it's like, well, just come by. Or I can send you some pictures, look and see which one you want. And a lot of them are like, I don't want to do that. You pick it for me. I don't even want to see it, whatever. So,
Yeah.
And I've only done it a couple of times, but I'll take it up there. They'll set a date. And that's one of the hardest parts about it now is because, like you say, everyone's doing it. It's
Yes.
hard to get what they call
You have to get an appointment
or a processing date. Yeah.
Right.
I called the other day, and I think the earliest one they had was like August or September or something like that,
Right. And another buddy of mine that does the same thing you do.
Yeah.
He told me, he goes, you get one right now. And he
Yes,
goes, but I won't
that
be
too.
able to help you anytime soon.
Right.
Unless you get bumped up on the kill date.
And there are a lot of processors that are opening up now, and they're realizing, hey, the business is booming. Let's open one up, and they have open dates. It's just what you prefer, where you prefer to go to.
Right. And so as the cowboy's dying off, the butcher's dying off too.
Right.
So, I mean, I know that some of the local places that I know, the meat markets that have butchers, they've had situations occur where this one got snaked away from them for more money.
Right.
And sometimes those guys, they have to go where the money is, the butcher does.
Right.
And so that's affecting the kill date on it. But back to your process, by doing this, what would you say? I mean, we're talking pennies on the dollar for meat,
Man,
in my opinion.
it is. And it's not only that, it's and you're going to pay a little bit more. A lot of places, guys have kind of figured it out. But I think the biggest part is, where it's coming from. It was born on that place. Its mama's mama was born on that place. And,
Right.
and what's going into it. You don't know, there's nothing getting injected.
Right.
And there's no steroids or hormones or
And
anything like that.
that's kind of like, again, like sports,
Right.
before you take the cow to the cell barn. That's why a lot of people don't want to do things at the cell barn, is because it got injected with something before it got there. It's just things that happen. And I don't know what this Chris S is.
He is going hard on
Yeah,
that.
he lit us up.
Yeah, he did.
Well, thank you, Chris, for being a fan of the show. And it's it's a process for everyone to look into. But again, it's a friend of a friend.
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
you need to know what you're getting into. You need to know, and this is back to the old barter system that we had back in
Right.
the day. I mean, obviously we're exchanging cash and stuff,
Right.
but if it push comes to shove, you're still going to have beef at your
Absolutely.
place
Yeah.
whenever it goes to heck in a handbasket, and the people that know you will be able to, barter and work a deal
Right.
out type
And
thing.
there's lots of people out there that are doing it. They're selling
Sure.
halves and quarters or wholes, and it's pretty easy to find. But definitely do your research. And
Right.
I had a couple people reach out to me that heard that I was doing it, and they were asking like, "Well, I want grass fed. I don't want anything in it." Well, it's really hard to get around that.
Right.
From the government feed that you're getting to even the hay that you're feeding them. That hay's been fertilized. That grass that you're on has had weed killer on it. It's been fertilized. Stuff like that. So they're gonna get a little bit of something in there. But
Right.
if they're getting the protein and mineral and all that stuff at the same time, then
That's the process. I
Right.
mean, you can't. You're not going to find a buffalo from
that's gonna eat nothing.
the
but grass.
1800s,
Right.
that
Yeah.
it's pure and never had anything in it.
Absolutely.
And even still now, there's things that grow in the dirt That's why we have to worm animals.
for
That's
sure.
why we have to do. They don't know that there are poops down there, and we do shovel and try to keep some stuff clean, but you don't do that in the pasture. It's
Actually, I don't shovel it, but I have I call it my turd buster.
a turd buster.
I pull a panel with behind the truck with a weight on it, and
It's all grass anyways.
and it's free fertilizer,
Right,
man,
it's free
and it's natural too.
Right,
So,
right. And I love the whole process of everyone now kids. I remember some kids staying with someone I know,
yeah,
and they were like, we were abused. He made us shovel the poop out of the horse stalls.
right.
And I'm like, boy, you would not believe how much that stuff I've shoveled in my lifetime. I mean,
Professional.
yeah, right. I could catch it midair. You know what I mean? Like I'd go over there with
still warm.
yeah, I go over there with the shovel and try to catch it. You know what I mean? Like I just remember having a manure pile everywhere.
Right.
On every ranch, there's just this big, huge pile of. Every now and then it catch on fire if you didn't rotate it or something. Like I guess it's
get hot
because it's fermenting, it's combusting and stuff. And you're like, oh god, this is nasty. But yeah, it's funny the stuff that we run into and see when it's over and done with. So where's the future in NAP going? I mean, where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years? I mean, so now hold on, let's back up. Let's go through the history. So is JC still around?
Yeah, yeah. He's still in there week in and
It
week
was like
out.
old man Nap or something. There was like somebody's passed, right?
So Big Papa, he was
Big
my
Papa.
great grandfather, and he was
Okay.
a very wise man. He was a lawyer and a bondsman, and had a lot to do with 360 development and Arlington, and just a whole lot that went on with Arlington. And
Okay.
he actually started the Arlington Bar Association, and he used to have parties out there at that place where I'm at now, and the mayor and
Right.
all kinds of people would be out there and cutting
So
up and listening to music.
That's the Big Papa, right? That's
Big Papa, James H. Knapp. Yes, sir. He had an
Uh,
office in downtown Arlington.
Nice.
And he was very wise. He bought lots of properties, for little to nothing, or did swapping here and there, and would piece them together and actually, have the minerals and sell it and keep the minerals. And there's some stuff that they're finding today they're still getting checks on that they never even knew that it was there. Never even knew. Yeah.
Big Papa was doing deals
He was doing
for
it,
everybody,
man.
right? And then so now it's gone down to, and JC's still there. He's still
JC, yeah.
he's still
there.
running around. That's
Still
your
running
that's
around.
your uncle
That's
or your
my
dad?
uncle.
That's
Yeah,
your uncle.
yeah.
Okay.
Just like my
Yeah,
dad. though,
yeah,
man.
just like your dad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you got your mom is wheeling and dealing.
Yep.
She's the matriarch of the Nap Mafia,
Man, yeah, there
right?
you go. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Yellowstone, the Duttons.
Yeah,
She's the mom of the
she
Duttons.
takes care of business, man. She does, man.
Right.
She's in the office week in and week out and making sure everything's good to go. Her and my aunt started that facility over there's a storage facility
that they've
yeah, and
got.
they built it up, and it's really been successful for
When it's
them.
occupied. It's pretty occupied. It's like
It
90%.
is. Yeah,
right?
yeah, 90 or more. They
Yeah.
got U-Haul and all kinds of stuff there too. But it's really been a blessing, man. And she's always looking for something else to have a project to get
Right.
started on. So.
Do they do that where they cut the lock off and then 5
Oh
They
yeah,
do that.
yeah. We've got one coming up actually.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's anybody can go to that, or is
Anybody can go to it. Yeah.
anybody can go to the auction?
Anybody.
Huh?
Yeah. The last one we had, I think most units went for like $20 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because
We
no
needed
one
them out of
showed
there.
up?
Yeah.
And you
Well,
needed
they
them
showed
out,
up, but there just wasn't a whole lot
in the
there
units,
that they could see.
Yeah.
It was just.
right?
But I didn't sanction it. You have you can call an auctioneer and he'll bring a set amount of people with him too.
Mhm,
and
mhm.
It brings in more money, but then you got to give it to the auctioneer. So
Yeah. So right. You don't do the auction yourself. You don't get up there and
I did last time, but no, I'm not very good with the tongue. I'm not
Yeah,
very
right,
fast
I can't.
anyway.
Ron Hopkins does that. Like
Yeah.
whenever he's running around, like he's done some of the benefits and stuff. I don't know if you know Ron. He's done some of those benefits and stuff, and he does that, and he gets up there, and I'm like, man, that's a lot of. I couldn't do it. I'd
It's
be
tongue
dry
twister.
mouth. I'd be dry mouth.
Definitely
into
takes
it.
a lot of practice.
10 seconds into it, Jacob said Jimmy Fricks for president. Right?
Hey man, what's going on?
You gotta love the family, right?
Oh yeah.
Gotta love them. So, you got the storage lot. You've got businesses that you're working on. You're doing some stuff. You're always wheeling and dealing. That's why that phone's ringing.
Trying to keep it interesting, man.
Right.
Do mechanical bull rentals and
Oh, I got to shout out to Trinity.
Yeah.
Trinity King for that.
yeah.
Oh man, she was dressed to the nines. She had all the blue. She had the helmet on. She got out
She's
there.
a rock star, man.
She
She's been
is.
doing it.
She's
She is,
amazing.
yeah.
She's been in the show, and Babby Sue been in here with her,
Yeah.
and they're a hoot. That like two two giddy little girls together, grandma and granddaughter. And I think it's absolutely hilarious how they she got out there, she gets on the bull. And again, kids, you got to train. You need to train your upper body. You need to be jumping rope.
Right.
You need to be able to have your legs, be doing resistance work on,
you
would not believe. You rode, didn't you?
You get out what you put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not because I wanted to.
Not because you wanted to, right? It's because I had to. Right?
Chris had bulls and they needed to be bucked.
Right.
Not a lot, I didn't travel anywhere and do it, but definitely.
And you got to do the push-ups. You got to get your arm strength.
Man,
you
get out
get
what you put into it.
Yeah, you do. And if you're training 4 or 5 hours a day when you're younger, that'll set the train in motion for your body.
Absolutely.
For later on, whenever you're 24 or 25 and you can only train 30 minutes at a day.
Well, you take the Brazilian guys, the Brazilian bull riders that come over here. They mean business. They're not going to the bars Friday night after the bull riding. They're training, they're working out, they're eating right, and they take it seriously because that's what they came over here to do, is dominate, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And it's funny, I met some of them, they had to go back.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because they go back and they knew through meeting me and interviewing them that I was in the military.
Right.
And they're like, do you think that I could get in touch with a military recruiter? Because I hear they'll help you become a U.S. citizen if you go into the service, and they need people. And it's worked.
Awesome.
So these guys are in the military, and I'm like, guys, they're going to be pumping up. When they get out, they're going to be fit. You boys might want to think about
go Brazil.
Go Brazil, because these guys are ready.
They are, man. I mean, they are. They're a different breed for sure.
Right. And they have do they do the two-handed riding down there where it's the rope or that the
Not
Mexican
that I know
style?
They may in some parts of it, but I've never seen a lot of Brazilian videos, but then they're getting on big honky bramers that jump high in the air,
right.
And they're a lot bigger, a lot stronger than American bulls, and that's one reason they come down and dominate.
Right. And I mean, we've got bulls now that the boys can't stay on.
Yeah, the breeding program of the bulls are outweighing the breeding program of the riders for
right.
sure.
And,
it used to be the opposite, but not anymore.
Hanging on to an Xbox controller and hanging on to a horse is a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
Right? And
absolutely.
This ain't Red Dead Redemption. You need to know how to actually ride. And you know some of the stuff that goes with it. Cool. So have you ever seen that Everybody Loves Raymond episode where Robert's running from the bull that gets loose at the rodeo in New York?
Yeah.
And everybody's laughing. I'm like, that's not funny. That's true. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Scared to death.
I've seen the stock contractors have to get out there whenever, every now and then y'all get them, they're 2 rank. I mean, like even the cowboys are having trouble.
Right.
And I've seen the stock contractor jump out there with the cattle prod and he's trying to, they're all trying to, everybody's waving him and they're trying to hope maybe we're standing here, he'll go, and he just ain't ready to go back in.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes they just aren't ready, and you can't make them.
He's ornery. And
right.
I don't think that cowboy's going to hold on to him. He gets that lariat around him. He's
exactly.
still, he's going to have to get it around that horse and hope for the best. He's going to be just dragging in the saddle.
For sure. And that's one of the reasons during the training, man, we push so hard to do groundwork, just like a horse. When you're training a horse, show them the out gate, show them the chutes without bucking them or putting anything on them, and get them calmed down, because if you don't, man, it makes it that much harder on you.
Right.
You're going to fight them until you do it right, until they figure it out or they hurt you.
Yeah. Everybody always thinks it's just some wild bull y'all pulled in there.
Right. No.
And
it is.
It is
in the beginning,
to an extent,
yeah.
But you also run it through, like you said, you run it through the paces, run it through the arena, get it used
Absolutely.
to
Go through all the motions. Yeah.
Right. And they are mean. They are just
some of them aren't, man. It's just
oh yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like some of the ladies are. I love the lady stock contractors. They're like, don't put the lariat on him. He'll go out.
Don't rope him. He'll leave.
Don't rope him. He'll leave.
Yeah.
And I've noticed even like the cowboys, whenever they throw the lariat on them, if they notice that it's gotten around the tag or it's near, they'll drop that rope real quick.
Right.
They'll let the line go.
Yeah. Or if it gets around a leg or something like that, and that just comes with experience, and hiring the right kind of guys, because I've seen a lot of bulls get crippled with rope happy pickup men that just want to get it, put a loop on something. And
what would you think a crippled bull cost you?
Man, it just kind of depends on the caliber of the bull. If you got a $20,000 bull that's going and winning everything here and there, and he gets crippled, then you're out whatever that next event pays, and $20,000 for the bull.
Right.
It's just hard to replace those kind.
And you guys are decades of breeding, right? I mean, this is
40 years. Yeah.
40 years of this is all sired through what's coming off of your ranch. It's not. I mean, you buy a few in every now and then.
Absolutely, man. And you have to, because I mean, the breeding program now, it's so tough because everybody's got it down pat. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like they know before that calf's going to hit the ground that he could possibly be a world champion.
Mhm.
You know, at his 2, 3, 4-year-old year, 5-year-old year, or whatever. But it's everyone has bucking bulls. There's 5, 6-year-old kids that have bucking bulls now, and
Mhm.
it's so easy to pay a little bit of money, go buy one that you can enter, and that is to everything that you want tomorrow or right
Mhm.
when you pay for him.
Mhm.
You know, if you have a what if or a maybe, which is for the smaller guys, usually all the time, you know, you spend 2 years growing that calf up, and then by the time you get a rider on him, you got 3 years into it and all the feed and time, and then he still might not make something. You know,
Really?
it still might not be worth fooling with. And
Wow.
you know, when you have 3 or 4 years invested in $5,000 to $10,000, it's kind of tough when you have all your hopes for one, and
Right.
he turns out to be a dud, and you got to take him to the sale barn and get $500 for him or
Right.
whatever. You know
And
what I mean?
you're like, this was supposed to be it. This was supposed to be 20 grand. And
Right.
I'm
And
at the sale barn.
that's kind of cool, the technology that they've come to as well with they're called dummies, and they're the boxes that you put on the back of the bulls for the training
Mhm.
purposes, you know, where you can take a calf that weighs 4, 5, 600 pounds, and you put this box on them, kind of like a saddle, and it's got a deal that clicks in the side of it, and it's got a remote that you can release it with.
Mhm.
So you put him in the chute and you put it on him like it's a rider on this little calf. And if he jumps out there and does something that is cool, that, you know, he jumps high in the air or turns back, or starts spinning, you can
Mhm.
click that thing off in a matter of half a second to 4 seconds or however long you want,
And training him.
and rewards him for it. And so he
Mhm.
goes, oh, I could do this to get this off my back. Cool. You know,
Right.
and a repetitive process of that, it starts clicking, you know, and then, you know, that's where you kind of train them and it leave it on a little longer each time. And then,
Love it, man. That's amazing. The technology's coming along.
man, and you can save 2 years and thousands of dollars, you know, because if he doesn't show any promise at 600 pounds, he's probably not going to later on down the line, with the
Right.
exception of some. You know, there's
Yeah.
obviously some that are late starters, you know, and do better on when they start maturing. But
Bulls are like people. They got
absolutely,
attitudes.
yeah.
They got attitudes. They
There's-
got a way about them. You know, Ferdinand, the one that you could pet, you know, and then you got
exactly.
the,
I was fixing to say,
yeah.
there's ones you can pet, and there's ones you don't want to get close to the fence.
I know, right?
Too.
My aunt, my uncle got a like, I don't know what it was, a steer cow, something, whatever, way back when, you know, he was going to do like that, take it to market. And she goes, nope, you get rid of it now. If I fall in love with it,
yeah,
I don't name them.
Uh-uh.
There's a reason. That one,
Right.
what is that one? That's yellow tag 74 because of his ear.
he's a number. He's not
That's
a name.
it. He's going to go in. He's going to be a delicious steak one day, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing too, like naming them.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people come up with names. Some people just name them what they like or whatever. But we wait. You know,
Right.
they're a number until they prove to us.
And then you're staying here because you're performing.
Yeah, and then we come up with a name later down the road that fits his personality or the way he bucks or his bloodline or whatever. You know,
Mhm.
kind of throw that granddaddy's name in there or something
Right.
somewhere. You know,
Right. And I mean, that's a money making business once it takes off, right? I
Yeah,
mean, people
it is.
pay you to buck them and you have to haul them all the way over. You got the equipment for it. You
Yeah.
got the truck, I know you've always got man. Every time I turn around, there's a trailer there.
Got to have that.
It's something. I think you got 2 Bobcats, don't you? You got
Yes,
like 2 skid steers.
I do, man, and I'm trying to do some land clearing and some brush clearing and stuff like that. And it's you got to have those around the ranch, man. There's a lot of heavy stuff.
If
that
y'all haven't
I
added
don't
Jimmy
live.
Fricks to your Facebook, you need to add him now because he's a jack of all trades.
We can do it all. That's right.
I bet you
and we can
blurry,
put you on a bull for
right?
sure.
I bet you're blurry if they take a photo of you. Like, just nobody can find you. I mean, just like you're always moving.
No, I'm there.
You know,
I'm ready.
I remember we were out at the bar one night, and there was everybody. I don't know if it was your wife or I don't remember who all was there, but it was
easy.
girlfriend. I'm sorry, I don't know. Whatever, it was a significant other. I don't remember. It might not even been the person with you. And a lady goes, "You're pretty funny. You should be a comedian." I was like, "It's funny you should mention it because that's what I do."
Yeah, right.
Radio show host and a comedian. That's
Nice.
you guys should be cowboys.
Right. Yeah.
Funny you should mention that. That's what we do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Those cowboy. I don't think those cows like the jokes, so that's why I have to stay outside the arena.
Yeah.
You know, when it's going on. So, all right, $5 to buck out.
Yeah. Just to watch, man.
Just to come in and watch. And I mean, you know, got to be over 18, or you got to, if they're under 18,
parent there, yeah.
If you're under 18, they have to have a parent there in order to compete.
Yeah, and we don't cater to a lot of young kids, you know, 7, 8 years old and younger.
Mhm.
We don't have smaller stock. We do have big bulls, man, and it's always fun out there. It really is. Wednesday at 6, Sunday at 2.
Sunday at 6, Sunday at 2. Got the 3 big events. And so, what if I wanted to, like, if somebody wanted to hire out like Nap Ranch for their own thing? And how much and what do they have to do? They have to reach out to
Just
you?
reach out and kind of let us know what they're planning on doing, the dates, and we can coordinate together and come up with
a price.
Absolutely, man.
I mean, and no, I always tell everybody it's just like advertising here. Come at me with an offer.
Yeah. I mean, we've done birthday parties. I actually last month I did private bull riding show for Mary Kay. Then we did one for Benny Keith, and some places like that, some big corporate parties, and we just booked like 10 bulls for them. Do some entertainment, and it's really neat, man.
Right.
Birthday, we can do it anywhere, anytime.
Bands can come out there, anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Y'all are open and ready for hire.
Dog shows, whatever.
Dog shows,
we'll do whatever.
Yeah, just don't bring any blue heelers, whatever y'all do, because they tend to run off the arena and go to work.
Absolutely.
I had a blue heeler, man, and that dog.
You gotta love them.
Oh man, they get around a cow. They're like, that's what I do.
Yes.
I remember one of the guys. He had one. It sat up on the back of the flatbed, and he said, "Don't ever touch that dog. He's mean."
Yeah.
But he'd be like, "Zip, wake up." Let dog run out there in the arena, run that bull biting at its butt the whole way out. Them bulls are scared of them things.
I used to have 3 of them that I kept in my truck, and I had to park in the back 40 because they would sure scare some people.
Right. And at the thing at Hoots, there was somebody had his, and someone's like, "I wish he would turn that truck off."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I can't. The healer's in there."
Somebody will call the law on you.
Yeah, you're like, he's gonna die if I do that. But if I let him out, he's gonna go out here and raise hell. With all these bulls running around out here, he thinks he's here to work, right?
They're I love them. They help a lot. Sometimes they'll get in there where we can't.
Right.
And it sure makes it.
Well, mine would hire out more than I could make a day.
Right.
Because I'd drop him off with somebody, and he'd be out there working.
Yeah.
And whenever you guys are going to take them to market, that's a process to get them all in there.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get them into the trailer. They don't want to go.
Right.
Well, sometimes they do, but I don't know that what can go wrong does go wrong a lot of times with horses and bulls, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Dangerous and stinky at both ends.
You got to know what you're doing.
That's awesome. So the next big event would be when for y'all?
Right now, it's going to be Bringing the Heat in November, but we do have some scheduled that we're still working on dates, so we don't overlap with other shows that are going on. And we're going to put some on throughout the summer.
Okay.
For sure. And I'll post those on my Facebook and stuff as well.
Okay. So everybody want to friend Jimmy Fricks, make sure you talk to him and reach out, and then y'all can,
man.
You ain't never met a stranger.
No, man, you can call me with anything, no matter what it is. I'll answer my phone for you.
You're usually who I call when I get stumped on something at the, you and there's like you and 2 or 3 others. I got a carpenter I call the Custom Sheds by Keith guy.
Yeah.
He's the carpenter I call if I ever get stumped on something.
There you go.
A couple of mechanics that I know,
it's making this noise.
Yeah. I got this light on and this code, and I got a drip over here. Right? I guess one day I'll be calling you. I got a bull that's doing, I don't know. I'm never going to have a bull.
Sure you are.
Shoot. No, man, that thing.
I'll sell you one.
Right. I bet. And I'm never going to own another horse. I owned a horse. That's like having a 2-year-old kid with you for the rest of your life. They cost.
Not a huge horse fan myself. I love them. I love to look at them, but I want that old deadhead trail horse that you're gonna put a 6-year-old on.
Right. That's what I want. I don't want anything that's got attitude like me.
I'll get off real quick.
And they get attitude like you. They say if you're a certain way, your dogs are like you. If things get your attitude.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I don't need no horse that's got a horse's ass for a brain. That's pretty much exactly what I am. So, man, you got people wanting you to run for president. Maybe you should run for mayor. And Tarrant County judge or something. I don't know. You got fans all over. This is good edge rank. I think this is the best viewing we ever had. See, that's why it's so hard to get you on this show.
I'll be back for sure.
You've been busy, and we're gonna do more in the future. I want to talk about. We're gonna bring you back on. I want to talk about the storage facility. We've got some other things. You got a mechanical bull that you bought.
Bull that I rent out. Yeah.
People could rent it out, and you bring all the stuff with
bring
it.
A
right?
music box and an operator, and couple hours or however long, wherever.
Do you put like a pro pit around it or something?
Actually, it's a bounce house.
Oh, it's a bounce house in it.
Yeah, it's got a little fence, blow up fence and stuff.
Cool.
I was out at the lumber yard last weekend, and it was a big hit.
Really?
Yeah.
And how much people charge to get on you? It is like,
man, I did it for free.
I did it for free. They paid the exposure. Oh, okay.
No, and they gave me some tips here and there, and I was helping out Derek Sheeler, a buddy of mine I went to high school with, he
Right.
opened that place up in the Spice Rack, and just kind of helping him out, get some people coming into that new place, and it's really cool over there.
I don't have the arm strength to do it. I just don't. Not no more. Not with this big belly. Hey, y'all, it's been great. I got Jimmy Fricks here with Knapp Ranch. This is Mike Wilshire with the JoCo Voice, and you guys take care of yourself and each other out there.
God bless y'all.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call